Poland Daily Business, and tonight we'll talk about how Poland is coping during the coronavirus crisis. There is an interesting story written by Piotr Arak of Polish Economic Institute. The story runs in Brussels Times, and we have the author right now. Sir, welcome to the show.
Hello.
And please tell us why, first of all, you wrote this piece to Brussels Times.
First off, I see that a lot of international press covers the story of Finland and Latvia and Lithuania on how they cope with the economic crisis in terms of the contraction in GDP being much lower than expected in the second quarter of 2020. All European countries went through recession when we had the lockdowns, travel bans. Commodities weren't going throughout Europe. International trade was not operating as usual. And I think the interesting story in that is that the Polish economy managed to contract just by 8 percentage points. In comparison to other EU countries, and given that the United Kingdom went down by 22%, so this is a historic recession for the United Kingdom. I would say that this needs a little bit more narration, a little bit more information on this. I would say, given the scope of the recession, success of the Polish economy, because we managed to sustain a better position than the other countries. And for most, it's because of the stimuli package adopted by the government, which was valued by 13% of GDP. And this is one of the biggest stimuli packages in the G20 and the European Union, and especially big in comparison to the other Central European countries. So this is why we are actually managing to have such not maybe good, but a better position in economic terms than the other European countries. And this will make also the contraction of the GDP for Poland in 2020 one of the lowest in the European Union. So as in 2009, when Poland managed not to have a recession, when everybody was going under, we probably are going to have a recession, but it's not going to hit us that much as the other European countries.
So which are we normally spoke about the engine growth, but right now maybe the same question. What businesses, what part of Polish economy are still sound and are dragging us out of this hole?
Well, first off, it's the industry. We see that having the numbers from July, that the Polish industry production is almost at the same level as it was just a year before. So it means that we're going back on track with industrial production in Poland, which is not also connected with automotive parts. The automotive sector was very hard. It was hit very hard by the crisis. People didn't buy cars in Europe, all around the world. They still buy a little less cars. But the numbers are getting there, so I would say that the industry production is going back. So this is something good. And the second part is consumption. We're one of the biggest European markets in terms of the number of consumers, and each time we go shopping, we basically improve our GDP growth chances. And this means that the consumers that went to when buying as of July and also in August are buying are buying more than they did the year before, so they spend more. The structure of the consumption is a bit different than it used to be. We still don't go to cinemas that often as we used to, or to the theaters. But for example, we spend now more in restaurants than we used to in the last year, because there were some times that we just didn't have the chances to go to restaurants. So this also improves the economic chances of those businesses. So there are those two sides of the coin that create better opportunities for the Polish economy to grow in the third quarter and also in the fourth quarter of 2020.
Right. What shape of the people speak about the curve shape of the recovery. Donald Trump often uses the V-shaped curve. That means the recovery is going to be rapid and the economical activity should return to the pre-pandemic levels. How it would look in Poland, according to your assessment?
Well, it's not only mine assessment, but it's also what we see in the graphs showing the industrial production. And there's a clear V-shaped recovery in the industrial production and also in consumer spending, which means that after the second quarter and the month of April, when we did not go shopping, when we stopped buying stuff, and also we stopped producing a lot of things for the European and Polish market. After that, we managed through June and July, and also probably in August, create better chances for those businesses in terms of industrial production. And there is a V-shaped recovery there. If it's going to sustain, so if we are going to see the same things happening in September and in October, that's the great mystery. If everybody else is going to be on track of recovery, because we're not, an autarky, we don't sell to ourselves. People in the other European countries buy our produce. And this also means that France, Germany, or the United Kingdom has also have to go back on track, on a growth track, in order for us to have a better recovery. But probably currently we're in a very good position to say that the contraction of GDP in 2020 is going to be better than we expected when the European Commission or some of the international organizations were making their projections in April and in summer. So we might get with a GDP, with a recession which is just about 4% contraction of the GDP in comparison to 4.6% recession that was projected by the European Commission just this summer and is projected by the Polish Ministry of Finance.
Well, let's keep fingers crossed then. Piotr Arak, Polish Economic Institute, was our guest tonight, sir. Thank you very much for this conversation.
Thank you very much.
That was it for the moment, and please watch us tomorrow, same time. Tune in to Poland Daily Business.